This is Stephen with Fares Management Interactive, and today we're going to go ahead and develop an RV sales map for the Arizona State Fair. So let's just go ahead and jump in and show you how we're doing this. So first thing is we have to get a background map, and so we click Plan Control. Here's our areas and buildings, and we're going to go to the RV lot, click on it. Now we're going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit just to make it easy. So I hold my control key down and my mouse wheel and the cursor over where I want to zoom. And that's what I do. Now if you've been taking our learning sessions, you know that the next step is to create a pod or a group of booths. And you know that outdoors we typically just want to do a minimum pod. We want to do one booth in a row and one aisle. And then I'm going to go ahead and guess the size, 21 feet by 8 feet for a minimum RV size, or the RV size by default that you want to have in here. Okay, and now I'm going to grab the fourth square and I'm going to pull him over. And there it is. I'm going to stop and give you a little tip. When you're doing these outdoor areas, here you see the green is all the way around the pod, so it's the entire pod. Take that pod and take it out of an area that you're likely to need. And then grab each individual booth. There we go. And bring them over to the area that you want to start working with. And now I'm going to hit the control key and the mouse wheel and zoom in just a little bit more. Alright, so now I want to change the numbers a little bit. I want to change this one to 200. So I go into booth control, hit 200 and hit OK. The next thing I want to do is to swap out some RV icons for these white rectangles. So then I go to my icon objects. Now these RV objects are able to be color coded and they're brand new, so I've put them at the bottom of the list so the Arizona State Fair people can be able to grab onto them a little easier. So for 200, I'm going to need the down facing icon. You hit your shift key, hold on to your shift key and click that icon, and now it's swapped it out. Now I'm going to go ahead and click this one, and I want the up facing icon. Hold my shift key down and click. So now we're just about ready. This guy goes into this corner, and this one goes into this corner, and we're going to zoom in just a little more just to make it a little easier. There we go. The next thing we want to do is rotate these. Right here is a blue rotation icon. If you click on that, it allows you to manually rotate, and you can approximate lining up with these. That's pretty close. I think let me see what I got there. So I look and it says it's 35 degrees. I think it's a little less than that. Let's try 33 just to get it better. So I click on 33 for my angle, hit OK, and I'm just fine tuning now. Alright, so now I got it in place. Now this should theoretically be able to take the same angle. So I hit 33 for this one and hit OK. Again, before you pick anything, make sure that the blue dots are just around that item. The next thing we want to do is start creating our color coding system. So if I click on this, I want to go over, and I'm just going to get this layer out of the way. It comes up every time you put a new map up. And I'm going to click background on. I'm going to click that white swatch, and I'm going to go ahead and choose a different color. Hit apply. So that's color coded. Let's go ahead and choose this another color coding. Here's background. Alright, here's apply. Pretty good. So now we see that the numbering system has a white background behind it. And I think for these purposes, you're probably going to want to let that remain. But I'll show you that if, in fact, you wanted to take that white beyond it away and change the color of the font, all you do is go to the text customization, remove the background, and let's just say, we'll try a green letter, and that's terrible. So then we try a red. So that's one example of how you can do it. Now, in terms of copying these and starting the next one, if we click on this one and we go down to our booth control and we go ahead and just all we have to do is just change the number, and then we hit new. So it made a white one. If I go ahead and go to my upward facing RV icon and just hit shift, there it switches it. Now the one thing it does do is it automatically rotates back to the 90, but if you go down here you've still retained that angle here, so just go ahead and hit OK and it's back again. And then of course your style, you want to turn the background on and go to your color coding for that one. And that's basically, and just start building up from there. Now what do you do if one of these is longer than 21 feet? Okay, so you're going to want to go ahead and click, let's go ahead and click this guy right here, and I'm going to say 28 feet. So I go down again to my booth control the individual objects, and I'm going to hit OK. If I hit new, it'd make a copy like we did with this one, with the changes, if any. This time we changed it, but we want to change the actual one. So there it is. It takes a little bit to reorient it back in there. And you can use your arrow keys on your keyboard to kind of, whoops, sorry about that. That did the whole pod. Make sure it's just around that one. So now if I nudge it with my arrow key, not bad. So that's how you do those. Now, in terms of populating them, if you click on one of these and then you go down to your exhibitor data, you can fill in your information here, and then fill in whatever you want for these fields. They don't have to be products or descriptions. Once you fill them in and you hit OK, that's part of this plan. And then when you save it, of course, then you can retain that information. If you click report, it will generate an Excel spreadsheet that shows these fields and columns, and also the total square footage of each object here, and then the total square footage of those that are quote-unquote sold. I guess that would be reserved in this case. So there's things that translate a little bit from your exhibitor sales on the fairground, and some things that we have to adapt to work with the RV. So that's basically it, except for the next step would be to click on File and Save As. And if you save, or if you do a report, because you're on a browser, it always goes to wherever you have set as downloads for your browser. My particular browser, I have it set so it asks me each time where I want to put the download, so it makes it a little bit easier for myself that way. But that about does it, and that should be enough to give you a start. Thanks.